All right, welcome to Tinsley Performance. Come check out our crib. All right, we're fired up to show you our 10,000 square foot facility, 6,000 square foot weight room, as you can see here. So the blacktop right here, the weight room flooring, we got about 3,000 square feet. We got turf around the outside for our mobility work, our dynamic warm up, our speed and agility. We also have a pitching performance lab out here in the back. So as we walk through, we have our dumbbell rack. Well, check out right here, I'm gonna show you here. So we have our TP wall. So these are all athletes, and actually we need to add some more to this that have trained with us for at least three months or more. Everybody in the red is currently in, actually there's a couple of them that have already retired, but big league, so MLB, NFL, PGA, inside the red. So if you want to make it to the professional level, you're inside the red. So we have our dumbbell station over here, our dynamic movement. We have our TVs up on the wall. We'll throw in our team builder training, so everybody's workouts are up on the board, scripted for you specifically based off of your evaluation and the sport that you're playing. Over here we have our Kinvent force plates. So we get our athletes on here to where we have objective measures for everything that we're looking for. So we actually have some attachments we can attach here for, let's say it's a post ACL athlete, and getting on a training table, strapping it to the table and trying to kick out as hard as you can, and looking at the difference asymmetry side to side. So coming off of an injury from an ACL, we want to make sure that you're within a 10 to 15% difference before we start to migrate you towards a return to play. And so this is a really good thing, and in addition to our program that we've added over the past couple of years of getting an objective measure to make sure not only what we're seeing the athlete do, but also the objective measure, making sure that we can have a numerical value before we let them return to play. There's a bunch of different things that we can do here. We do a lot of throwers, workouts, and isometric contractions with the attachments we have here. Belt squat for athletes that are coming off of like back injuries and stuff like that if we don't want to axial load or load the spine with a barbell. Over here we have our pitching performance lab. So if you want to walk with us through here, we'll come up under the net. So this is our pitching performance area here. So Thomas Lowry, our director of pitching development, is head over this. And so we have 3 lanes wide here. We have our Edgertronics camera up in the back. We have a TV that we can display all your TrackMan data, your Edgertronics slow motion video capture, and then the TrackMan is actually set up over here. So for our professional athletes, we have live at bats. We have skill specific work for our pitchers. We're in the process of adding an additional coach on staff for hitting performance. But right now, we're pretty proud about this lab here. So it's about 70 feet long, 20 feet wide. So it gives us plenty of area for our professional athletes to have live at bats. And then kids all the way down to 8, 9, 10 years old, just coming in here and doing pitching lessons with Coach Lowry. Another really cool thing that we've added to our program over the past few years is, as part of our data-driven process, is velocity-based sensors. So we have Vitruve here. So as you can see that this is tethered to the bar. So anything that we do, a lot of athletes, you go in the weight room and you lift heavy weight and that's all good and everything, but the name of the game now is how fast can we be strong? How powerful can we be? And this is one of the things that we use to measure that, and making sure that the athlete, as they lift the bar, so if I'm going to do some version of a squat, I can come in here, get after it, drive up, and there's going to be a number that's going to pop up on an iPad or iPhone right in front of me based off of this system here to tell me how fast I move the bar. So there's different velocity ranges, so we can work on acceleration and speed, strength, and have a combination of both. So that's a key variable for our program, and not too many people have that, but that's the way the game is going. Every sport that we're playing is how fast can we be strong and how powerful can we be, whether it's rotation, whether it's an offensive lineman, whether it's sprinting down a football field or jumping as high as we can on the basketball court. So that's really cool. So we use Vitruve. Another cool thing that we have is anchors or anchors. So our anchor system is a cable-based system to where we can get after it and do a lot of cable work, whether it's a pull or a press for some rotational power, and allows us to do just your typical cable exercises, but now we can get after it and be pretty violent with that, because all of our rotational athletes obviously have to create violent rotation, and this allows us to make that happen through putting these on the racks, and they can go up and down and all that. So those are fun to work with. The Vitruve motion capture, the data with the force plates and all the metrics that we can use there. So that's part of why we really focus on making sure that we're a data-driven, objective, measured facility. So we have turf area here for our ground warm up. We get foam rolls out, we get lacrosse balls. We make sure the body's primed and ready to go for activity. We can also get on the ground and do some dynamic movements. We'll do most of our mobility work here before we migrate into the weight room or out onto our turf field, which we're going to next. So walking out here, we have our 2 big bay doors, actually 3 bay doors we can walk out of. And then we come into our turf area here, and we have a 200-foot long, so a little bit longer than 60-yard long turf field, about 10 yards wide. We have a couple of areas that jut out up under these awnings for our rotational athletes. So we have plyometric care that happens over here on these 3 spots here for athletes that are throwing plyo balls and medicine balls against the wall and trying to create some rotational velocity and have a wall for them to throw into. So a great area that is very hard to come by in the strength and conditioning world, with typical facilities in the private sector of not having access to a long distance for us to sprint, or for them to sprint. So now we have that. So we take our cameras out, we do slow motion video capture. We really nail down the technique for sprint mechanics, and it allows us to work on acceleration. Also, it goes all the way into top end speed, because we have about 60 yards for the athlete to sprint in, which is, again, hard to come by in the area of strength and conditioning, so we get access to that. So it fires us up to be able to work with, and we actually work with a lot of athletes that come to us just for speed work because we have access to stuff like this. So come follow me in here. We'll go into more of the recovery side of our facility. All right, so this is an area we're really fired up about. This is our recovery corner here. So we have our recovery lounge and our recovery room, so come check this out. So we have our cold plunge ice tub here. We have it set around 50 degrees. If athletes want it a little bit lower, we can set that. So we have moving water here for the athletes to come in and recover. We also have our infrared red light sauna from Clearlight. We've done a lot of research, and these are the 2 best in the business. And so allowing our athletes to come over either pre-workout or post-workout, because there's benefits to both, and being able to get into our recovery modalities here has been a game changer for us. We actually even have athletes that are away from us and just need some recovery before bouts of games, especially if there's a long tournament over a weekend or they have some playoff games coming up. That's really big, and athletes have utilized that, and it's been key for their performance and recovery in between games. So you're looking at mental acuity, you're looking at recovery, decreased stress, better sleep patterns. There's so many different things that the cold tub does. Actually, with our return to play athletes, so athletes that are going through an injury, let's just say again, so it's an ACL or UCL with the arm, you're not going to be able to train specific body parts during that time. So once the stitches get out from surgery and we can get into a plunge, you can take a bath, we'll actually get the athletes in here, and their studies have proved that it actually retains muscle strength over a longer period of time, rather than just like obviously not doing anything and the muscle creating atrophy due to lack of use. So that's great for our return to play and just normal athletes recovering in between exercise days. People are actually using the cold tub now to warm up, which is kind of crazy. So it's a vasoconstrictor, and then as you get out of the tub, your body has to reheat. Okay, and so it vasodilates, so it allows a lot more blood flow to go through the muscles, and then you heat from the inside out rather than going heat on the exterior, so like a heat pack or getting to a sauna like this. But the sauna, I mean, you're looking at everything from skin health to digestive health, gut health. There's actually different colors that we can go through. I might even show here on the different colors that we can go, and there's a big spreadsheet that we have based off of the different color that the red light or green light or blue light helps with recovery. I mean, even hair, skin, digestive health, muscle fatigue, joint pain, all that stuff is really good for us to be able to allow our athletes to not only get trained and recover properly through therapy and our training program, but being able to have some recovery modalities like this to have athletes have access to under one roof and make it a one-stop shop for our Tinsley Performance athletes. All right, so this is our recovery room. Up next is our recovery lounge, so come check this out. All right, so our recovery lounge in here, so we have 4 practically lazy boy chairs here. These go back to zero gravity. We have our Normatechs. We're in the process of Normatech, Game Ready, Firefly, all these different recovery systems in order to increase blood flow, allow our athletes to get after it as they train, and then come over here, whether it's playing a game, watching some TV, and hanging out and relaxing a little bit before they head to the house. All right, so what we're really fired up about is having physical therapy here on site. So if we're gonna say we have a one-stop shop or a place where you can come and get your training, get your therapy, get your recovery, this is the final piece of that puzzle. So being able to have Chris Allison and Therapy South's reputation coming on site with us and being able to not only have our athletes train, but come get incredible recovery and therapy done is key to our success. And so we're fired up to have them, and this is something that you need to take advantage of. I mean, the elite of the elite athletes are doing this on a day-to-day basis. And so being able to provide this service to our athletes and not only training in the weight room and getting speed work in and doing the right diet and recovery and nutrition and sleep patterns, but also being able to get a dry needling session in or get some cupping done or get some manual therapy done is what's going to take our program to the next level. All right, so the last thing I want to show you is our Parents Lounge. So athletes that come in and parents want to be able to see what we're doing with the athlete, whether we're doing the movement analysis or doing a one-on-one session or just training your athlete. This allows the parents to be able to sit in here, hang out, watch some TV, get some work done, make some phone calls, and still be able to check out what we're doing with your young athlete. Or a relative or whoever wants to take advantage of this. We have our merchandise up here. So I think this is a really good value add to parents that are coming in and want to take part in understanding what we're doing with the athlete and being able to go home and do some homework and stuff like that and ask questions about what we're doing. And it further validates what we're doing with each athlete, and where the parents are kind of more involved rather than getting them away and not really knowing what we're doing with their prized possession or their athlete. All right, so thanks for following us along with our facility. We're super fired up about it. We've been in here since 2023, and we're gonna add things to it every single day. So you can find us on tinsleyperformance.com. You can find us on Instagram. We got a good following over there, and we post a lot of content, pretty much daily content there. We have a YouTube channel, so you can check out pretty much every exercise that we do in our program. Speed, mobility, and strength training is all on there. So give us a shout if you want to join a part of our program. Thank you for following us along today, and this is the Tinsley Performance Crib.